Hello everybody, welcome back to Farming Simulator 25, Riverbend Springs, Scratch Start, episode 51. We've got a little bit of canola to move out of the thing. A little bit of canola oil, I should say. That hooks up properly. Today is, well, it's October. We're really just going to be looking at some money-making opportunities with cotton contracts. It's the main thing. I've already moved the eggs. We could sell wood products. That's entirely feasible. But beyond that, there's not a whole lot to do. It'd be 100K payday like last time on the wood products that we do. Last time we had 3 rows of each. Wood's still looking good. The chicken food, oh, can't see it here, but we come over here, the chicken food is still okay. Obviously the sheep are fine and will be fine for ages to come. We got 107,000 in the bank. Our fields are good. Your nitrogen could take some on these two guys, but I think we're going to actually wait a little bit on the grass. The grass is not actually like a super priority in any case. It says pH is bad, but you look and it's actually okay in a lot of places still. So we're going to let that be. Off camera I had to rebuy the info here. It says pH is bad, but I think we're going to do another harvest before we line those guys up. Hopefully catch them all together. Right. But so, other than that, it looks pretty normal. pH. Yeah, there's a little bit of red in there. Nitrogen is actually good. I just applied nitrogen. I'm not sure what's up with this. Maybe it needs... Yeah, it needed me to buy more. Buy the latest info. But yeah, other than that, everybody's looking pretty good on everything. Yeah, so right, October, cotton. That's not cotton. Okay, we could harvest some soybeans off of 61. But nobody wants cotton harvested. So maybe we're just going to go right on through October into November. and get to our sales days. We have plenty of eggs to sell next month, and we have plenty of straw, 800k straw. Soybeans are a swathable crop, so I could run the swather out and do that. And if we do that, then I have to push time. Which is not not out of the question. Not that far away, and yeah, we could run the MacDon out there and then pick up the swath and process it. And I think we already have soybeans, so we could just turn in our soybeans, our old soybeans. I guess that's kind of sketchy and scammy, but hey, we'll turn in our old soybeans and get some fresh soybeans. I think that'll make it worth it. So let's go to the MacDon. It's here somewhere. He's already hooked up, so we'll just go here. At some point I removed the sketchy tree that was... Whoa. Alright, mate. That was in the way there. Everybody's looking great. I'm sure we don't have any weeds in our stuff. Yeah. I mean, we have weeds in our unplanted fields, but that's fine. Don't care. In a way, I do care a little bit, because if I were really on this, then those weeds would be using up valuable soil amendments and making my soil worse. So maybe I would want to kill all the weeds. I don't know how much real farmers care about this stuff, but being a virtual farmer, I don't have to. So right, we're going to go to 61 and get this guy swathing. Well, I thought I would pop in at our rope factory and see how things are going. We've got one more pallet there, so we've got some time to go on that. It might behoove us to pick up a nice big field and plant cotton at some point. The rental of the cotton harvester is actually not prohibitive compared to the amount of money you make even just selling the cotton. But we have the rope factory, so we could dump it all into rope. So that's something to consider. We would need to buy a field for it, because my current fields maintain our productions and feeding the chickens. So definitely need to buy a field. And then this deal, we got to cut through the sawmill. Hopefully we can fit. Should be able to fit. There shouldn't be a problem. We didn't have to cut through the sawmill, and in fact we probably shouldn't have. Now that I'm looking at it, where is that field anyway? Oh, it's over there. Whoops. Okay, well, I have to turn around and back some places and go all the way around. I should have gone around the correct way. For some reason I was thinking it was this field. But anyway, see you at the field. Alright, here we are at the actual field. Straight ahead there. B, B, there we go, Shift B. Right. Well, we're gonna have to... Didn't set myself up correctly, so we had to drive on your field, bud. Sorry. Right. Pull that thing up. And we're gonna get a worker swathing this up, because... we gotta go back and get the forage wagon. Alright, and we're actually lucky, I guess. You got this, bro. Don't you? Yeah, you got it. Alright. So, back to get forage wagon and get those soybeans processing. I saw in the mods a forage wagon with a big old windrower on it, but I don't know how realistic that is. Probably do 3 rows at once or something, but I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna go the correct way this time. Around here somewhere, we're gonna drive past the tornado path from a couple of years ago, or maybe not. Maybe it's not visible anymore. I guess not, but we're here anyway. We could pick this stuff up and get it over to our swathing separator. Or our swath separator. Yeah, I think the Macnon was a good purchase. It's definitely a wider swath, fewer turns, faster turnaround. Even if the worker does do whack stuff like this. What is your issue, Holmes? Alright, well, in the interest of keeping October short, which is still kind of the plan to do October and November together, in this episode. I am going to cut to when we're done. No, I'm kind of thinking I could buy 85, which is adjacent to one of our fields and would make a good purchase. Also comes with some trees. It's got bad soil type, but it's full of cotton. Be better than buying 36 way up there. But then we could just take all the cotton rather than waiting and hoping for a cotton contract. So I'm going to continue to give that a think. We could also just do that with 13 without taking a loan. And yeah, I think that's the answer, actually. I think we'll still be fine on the rental costs for the cotton harvester. We've owned 13 before, and it's just right over there. I think that's a good deal. It's a full hectare, so... Or, yeah, well, at least as far as the field itself goes, there's a little bit of useless land over there. We buy it, harvest it, plant it a few times, and then we'll be allowed to sell it if we decide to. It's not that huge, but it's not that small either. I mean, for comparison, that's 2, so that's twice the size. But I think we'll be getting a better deal this way. That puts off our truck purchase, but doesn't break the bank, doesn't increase our loan, and gets us better soil type. I mean, if you think about it, it's almost 30% yield difference between the two. 110%, 83%. So we're getting, comparatively, we're getting more field. Not quite more field, but it's a lot closer if you actually compare like the two yields. The yield amount is a lot closer than it looks on paper because of the, like, it's just based on size because of the difference in the soil types. So I'm going to continue having a think on that, and if they haven't harvested the cotton by the time I've made my decision, I may do that. Still have to borrow a little bit of money or sell the wood to afford the harvester. But that also gives us a spot to put more I'll catch that on the way back. That also gives us a spot to put more barley or something, which we could do here in October. Or we could save it and put cotton in it again. Well, we'll have to rent the planter. Cotton is a planting crop rather than a seeding crop. Anyway, we will jump on that thought as we go. Alright, just grabbing some gas here on the way, but the more I think about it, the more I think it's a good idea. If I can get there. Right. So, here we go. We bought it. It better still have... Okay, good. I didn't check. We now own that cotton. So, once we've gotten paid on this contract, we can rent the cotton harvester and go harvest our cotton. Maybe even throw down some stuff, which means we'll stay in October for the month because we've got a field to harvest, plant, roll. We gotta probably buy the soil information again. Probably fix the pH and the nitrogen, all that fun stuff. But we did it. Pulled the trigger. Alright, this is the last of this swath. We never did turn it on, which was silly. Because... okay, well, we can turn that off. And that off. Stop paying for that. Activate that. You've got 7K soybeans and a bunch of soybean swath. So that's going down alright. We can get this guy put away. And there's nothing that says I have to use. I think I'll get partial bale anyway, so I don't think I'll even need to worry about it. But we gotta see how much does the cotton harvester take. Special crops. Rent that guy. Lease. Do not have enough money. Right. So I think we gotta sell the wood maybe. Or at least the rope. We'll try the rope first. I think that makes sense. I don't know if I'll be able to actually pick this thing up. Maybe I'll be allowed to pick it up like this. Yes. Woo! Check that out. That was fun. Right. I don't need a trailer, even if it's 2 rope pallets by now. I'm just going to go grab that rope. The rope's worth like 10, 12K, so it ought to be good. And we've got time to waste, or not waste, but time to get through to turn in our soybeans anyway. So right, off to the rope factory. We've got our 1 pallet of rope, and it's off to the playground maker to get enough money for our crop, for our cotton harvest. And here we are with the wonky only works on a trailer. There we go. 11K. Is that enough, or do we need to sell wood too? Okay, we need to sell wood too. Well, it was worth a try anyway. Alright. We've got our low loader set up. Might as well just sell it all, even though we don't necessarily need to. There we go. And 3 will actually fit quite nicely. Oh. Even if we kind of mess it up. Alright. Of course, we could just start making a big mess. That's also a possibility. Alright, this will definitely get us enough to rent that cotton harvester. And then the cotton will... Huh. That did not work out. Well, I'm not going to go bother getting everything. I am just gonna strength it. Okay, now everybody's actually strapped on. I guess that guy was a little too far over the edge. Anyway, as I was saying, this will definitely get us enough to rent that cotton harvester, and hopefully the cotton makes it worth it. I mean, if we turn it all into rope, it ought to be worth it. It won't be instantly worth it, obviously, but we also have another hectare of farmable land, so that's important as well. All in the trigger at once, looks like it. Yeah, 75 grand, not bad. Alright, well, we can definitely afford the thing now. And I'm just going to go back around, because this got the double. Alright. Rent that thing. You know, those things are slow enough. I might as well just take this straight to the store. Definitely rent it now. You don't need the $12.50. Lease 19 grand. So we need to make 20 grand. That's 2 pallets. Well, hopefully we get 2 pallets off that thing. Alright, well, I'm gonna go to the store. I'll see you in a minute. Alright, we gotta load this thing up. It's an interesting setup. I wonder if I can actually, I'm gonna back it on there. I think that's probably our best option. It occurs to me that this will also keep the hours down. I won't have to drive this thing all the way over there. It also occurs to me that actually driving it on there is going to be a pain. Yeah, I need to widen the stance, which, oh, we definitely want that. Can't remember which one it is. That's this one. Okay. Yep. Now we're talking. But let's turn it off so it doesn't try to do anything funky. Strap her down and drive her over there. Alright, I'll see you on the site. Alright, here we are. We gotta unlatch it though. And turn her on. Right. Time to get going. Right. And I checked while we were driving. Our soybeans are going. I've gotten about halfway through. We got 14,000, and if we look at the contract, we've still got 10 hours on it, so we should be fine. Oh, this is a pre-chamber plus main chamber one, which I should have checked, because I would have rather spent more on the square baler one when it comes down to it. Because we're not going to lose out on any. Whatever's in the pre-chamber, 2,000 liters, we're going to lose. So I don't think there's any way to get rid of that. But that's, you know, the risks you take in trying new machinery. Alright, we're going to get this harvested up. I'm not sure if I did something. I might have hit G or J or something by accident, but we are just putting it straight into the main chamber now, so I am happy with that. Because that means we won't lose up to 2,500 liters. Actually, I want to actually look and see. Well, it doesn't look like there's anything direct, but it does look like maybe hitting G might have done it. Anyway, back to it. Alright, I'm going to try to unload this bale directly onto our trailer. No. Well, that will do something, yeah. Because now we can just return this thing. Yep. And get moving on with taking this guy straight down to the rope factory. Using our favorite cut through. And then we got to get over there and get that planted in barley, I think. You know, we've got enough barley. We'll at least get it, we'll get it dealt with in various ways. But the way to make the money on this cotton, I mean, we could probably make a very small profit after the rental, but the real way to do this is to convert it all to rope. That rope's going to be worth a lot more than the raw cotton. So right, I'll see you at the rope factory. And here we are. So we're going to go give it to the rope factory. It was almost a full bale, so that's cool. But before we give it to the rope factory, I wanted to see actually just how much it was worth right now. Or actually more like, okay, it'd be worth 23, which is about what I thought on the best day. Which is actually not too far away, but I think it'll be worth quite a bit more as rope. So we're gonna give it rope. There we go. We're gonna give it to the rope factory. And then we gotta set the rope factory to making rope out of the cotton. Rope maker. cotton, activate, storing. Yes, sir. All right. All right, so now it's just about go have a look. Yeah, we're getting close. And we've managed to add some straw in the process. So I think this will be actually faster to go this way. So that's what we're going to do. Right. So we've still got a game hour or so before we're done processing the soybeans. I may just sell all the soybeans. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Look at all that tornado damage too. But yeah, I may just sell all the soybeans and or I can hold on to them for 10 more years while I forget every June to sell them. That's another option we do have. But given that soybeans are not a primary thing I'm thinking about all the time, since I'm not planting my own soybeans, I think it's definitely all about that. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, we got to repurchase the soil information for that field. And yeah, it needs nitrogen. It apparently doesn't really need lime at this point. I don't think. If we go over there, we can actually look at it. Yeah, pH is okay. Well, nitrogen is not. So we got to decide what we're going to plant in here. Thinking about it, and just the raw cotton value, just the raw cotton value means it's probably not actually worth planting cotton in here unless we own the stuff, because we'd have to rent the planter and then rent the harvester, plus put our inputs in it. So we want to put some kind of seed crop in it. We can't plant canola in it this year. So our options are some late wheat, some late barley. Now we do wheat, we can do flour without worrying about using too much of our barley. And then the harvest will be August, which will be prime time for canola. So until we can afford to buy the cotton harvester and buy the planter, we're probably better off putting wheat in there or waiting around for oats. But I remembered this time, you plant first and then fertilize. Plant first and then fertilize. Yes. So I think we've done enough oats. I might as well get a slightly different crop in. out of the shed. There we go. Alright, so we'll go get our barley down. This is a direct. We don't have to do stuff to it. Or not barley, but wheat. Wheat. Take the cut through. Right. Yeah, we put wheat down, then we can put canola in it next year. And then we can maybe put something else in it some other time, but and we also learned another lesson here, which is that the Colossus is the pre-chamber round bale style cotton harvester, and I definitely prefer the square bale cotton harvester. We're going to get our wheat down. And then come back with the fertilizer. Hit that. Eventually we'll be able to afford the big self-propelled fertilizer. And that will be liquid and quite good. So right, we'll get this planted up. See you in a minute. Alright, that's wheat planted. We gotta roll it and fertilize it still though. I think we're close enough that it's not really worth the effort of loading the low loader with the rollers and the fertilizer. So we're just going to run this back and go get the rollers real quick. Or no, we'll get the fertilizer first, and then rolling it will smooth out the marks we make with the fertilizer. That feels better. Alright, I've got the rolls staged over here in the field. And I just turned my crop sensor on, which I have a little bit of time left before it's nighttime and it doesn't work anymore, so luckily we'll get that dealt with quite quickly. Boy, did it need it. Wheat on loam. It's funny because it defaults to wheat. So we could actually, in a way, have like left it on defaults. Right. Well, I'm just gonna wing this. And then we can run back around. like this and maybe hit all of it. Yeah. Right on, so that's done, and now we just gotta roll it up. I am gonna totally just leave this staged here. I expect I'll end up buying this field again too at some point. I mean, they are good fields. But I think it was definitely worth selling those fields in order to acquire the other fields at the time that we did. So we just got to get this guy rolled now. I'm going to do the right thing and roll the center first. Right, see you in a minute. All right, it's pretty late. I expect my soybeans are ready to go turn in. So we're just gonna get, well, we're gonna get these rolls back to the farm. We're gonna not worry about the fertilizer. We'll come pick that up at some point. Probably when we next need it. Or maybe before. But we gotta get back and see. I mean, if the soybeans aren't done processing, then I will most certainly and most happily put our that's a perfect spot right there. Right, I will most certainly go get the other stuff, but I can't imagine that our soybeans are not done processing. And I am correct. So we deactivate that. We get our trailer. We need a bigger trailer. 22.5 is not big enough. Although I expect that if we have more than 22.5, I'm not going to make a second trip. We do, so we're going to end up with a little bit of extra soybean sitting here until who knows when, but we're going to sell all these. Because we're going to get whatever this is, whatever they wanted out of this, plus quite a bit. And it's right up here. It's the one right up here. So we can take our favorite cut through and go hit quite easily. And there's no point in cutting this bit because we're right here already. So yeah, we ended up doing all of October even though I thought we wouldn't. Mainly because of the soybeans, I guess, but or the cotton diversion. And this is the turn-in. Yep, there we go. Decent amount of money, an extra 9K. And right, so that's that, really. That was October. Next month, we sell, or next episode, we're going to sell the eggs, and we're probably just going to cut straight through and do December and January all in a row. Just sell everything and call it good. I mean, there always could be some major cool contract out there that really blows my mind and makes me want to do it, but I doubt it. This is winter months after all. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will catch you next time.